Thank you, ladies, so much for being with us today. Now, you'll see that we also have our weights today. So if you're choosing to participate with using the weights, you might want to go ahead and run to the kitchen, grab those soup cans, and we'll get moving. So first and foremost, as we always do, we're thinking about shoulders over hips. So let's roll those shoulders back, sit tall, and think about creating nice proper posture, nice straight spine. And when we're thinking about chair-based exercise, we want to be away from the back of our chair. We want to rely upon the body for proper posture and not the back of the chair. Of course, if you need it for support, by all means, but we want to be as close to the edge of the chair as we're comfortable with and feel secure with. Okay, let's bring those shoulders back and down. We're going to start from the ground up. So let's take a look at our feet. We're going to raise our heels as we flex the calves, and then we're going to raise our toes. And we're going to roll back and forth. Heels up, toes up, heels and toes. 4 and up, 3 and up, warming up those ankles. Last one, let's keep our feet flat on the floor. Now, without looking, let's switch them on and off. Raise one toe up and one heel up. And switch and switch. This is a little bit of left brain, right brain activity. 3 and switch, 2 and switch, and 1 and done. Now, as we move up the body, we want to think about warming up those knees. Let's place our hands on our hips, roll those shoulders down and back, and we're going to kick up with a flat foot, toe toward the ceiling. We're going to squeeze that thigh muscle and lower it down, and the opposite foot comes up and down, and we're squeezing the top of that thigh muscle as we raise the toe. Nice flexed foot all the way up for 5 and down, 5, 4 and 4, 3 and 3, 2 more, all the way up. Bring those knees to be parallel. 1 more set, up on one side, up on the other, and relax. Now we're going to think about starting to march those feet. We want to bring our energy back into the quadricep area here. Let's warm up the thighs and the hips a little bit. You can relax your arms, and let's pick up one knee and the other, and a nice strong march. Now you'll see with the ladies behind me marching, they're keeping their torso nice and steady. They want that march to be all in the legs. All in the legs. Keep that torso steady. 4 and up, 3 and up, 2 and up, and 1, and let's keep them down. Okay, we're going to think about that knee and the thigh a little bit more with a different exercise. Let's bring one heel out in front to tap and in. Heel, tap, and in, and heel, and in, and heel, and in. We have 5 and in, 5, 4 and in, 4. Now let's listen to that music. Let's think about our pace. Think we can give it just a little bit more? Let's pick up our momentum. And out, and 2, 2, and 1, and done. All right, now we're going to think about coming up into the hip. We're going to open the cabinet by leading with our knee, and let's put that posture right. All right, shoulders back and over the hips. Abdominal section is nice and tight, spine is straight. And we're thinking chin up on a shelf, sitting tall and proud. We're going to go back to that knee. Let's lead with the knee as we open the cabinet, and we think about rotating that knee out to the side as far as you're comfortable, and bring it back in. Opposite side, up and open, and in. Up and open, and in. And again, we're going to keep that torso nice and steady. Try to allow this move to be primarily in the legs and not to compensate by rotating the body. Good. And let's listen for our speed a little bit. Listen to the music. Here we go. Let's pick it up a little bit. 3 and in. 3, 2 and in, 2 and 1 and in and 1. Good. Let's relax and come back to our march. Let's pick those knees up. Good. And we can hear that march. So let's think about that tempo. Up and up and up. Excellent. 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, let's give those feet a break. We're going to come back to it, but right now we're going to think about the midsection of the body, right here where we maintain the organs in the digestive system, below the rib cage and above the hip bone area. So we're going to think about washing the table. Let's take the rag in our right hand and we're going to rotate in the core. We're going to look in the direction of our pushing hand. Let's take the right hand and reach to the left and reach to the right and to the left and to the right. Now, if you have concerns with spinal rotation, lower back problems, or this presents any undue stress, you can push, as Natalie is, over to my left, straight over the opposite knee. And you can be careful of rotating that spine. Good. Let's walk it up the window, all the way up to the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. Warming up those shoulders. And let's walk it back down again. Reach, reach, and look in the direction of your reaching hand. Okay, we're back down at the countertop right here. And let's wash those cabinets. Always a fun chore. Let's wash those cabinets. Now we're going to think about coming down past the cabinets and into the floorboard. We're reaching for where the cabinets meet the floor. Rotating the body, pushing down around the opposite knee. Good. And let's think about pushing two hands. Let's take two hands to one side and down. Now as we push, again, we're rotating the core, rotating in the waist, and we want to think about pushing through the heels of the palms so that we can activate the muscles in the arms a little bit more. How about 3 more? And 2 more? And last one. And relax. Bring that posture back up and over the hips. Let's row the boat. Reaching out in front of you, leading with your elbows. Pull it back. Pull it back. Good. Trying to keep those elbows up as high as your body is comfortable with. And 3, and 2, and 1. Let's swim it forward. Breaststroke all the way over. All the way over. And again, you're going to listen to your body. We're just here as a guide. If anything presents any stress, you can always take a break. How about 2 more? And last one. Good. Relax. Let's put those shoulders back over the hips. Palms are down at our sides, and let's bring the shoulders up to the ears and back down again. Up to the ears and back down. Here we go. 4 and down. Up 3 and down. 2 more. Down. 1 and relax. Let's bring those palms out right at 90 degrees. So we have a nice easy 90-degree angle in our elbow. We're going to bring those palms up and we're going to touch the shoulders to warm up the bicep muscle and return to 90 degrees. Here we go. Let's raise them up and down. And we're trying to keep our elbows right where they are. Keep those elbows nice and steady. 4 and down, 3, down, 2 and down, 1 and down. Go ahead and lower those arms. Square those shoulders over your hips. Let's pick up our grocery bags. 1 grocery bag on each side. Bring your elbow behind the body and set them back down. Lead with the elbow and back down. Here we go. Up for 5 and down, 4 and down, 3, down, 2, down. Keep them up and hold them here. Let's take those groceries and let's throw them back in behind us. Bring the hands back to the hips and throw them back and in. And 5 and 4. And here we're thinking about that tricep muscle in the back of the upper arm. 2 more. 1 more and relax. Couple of shoulder rolls right here in the middle. Couple toward the back and a couple toward the front. Good. Now we're going to open the cabinet. We're going to think about the chest, stemming from shoulder across the chest to the opposite shoulder, and then the scapular muscles and the postural muscles in the back. Okay, let's right that posture. Reaching out at shoulder height, your palms are facing in. Grab those handles and lead with your elbows to pull that cabinet open. And close and open. Close. Good. Open and close. 5 and in. 4 and in. Squeeze that spine and the chest and the spine and the chest. 2 more and in. Last one and in. Now we have our arms elevated. We're going to pull some imaginary ropes to warm up the shoulder and the back a little bit more. Palms are facing in. Let's pull them back toward the body, and you'll see that we're bringing that elbow straight back behind, so we're not out to the side. Let's reach. Here we go. Pull those ropes in and out, and in and out. Palms in. 5. Good. 4 more. 3 more. 2 and 1. Let's reach out. And now we're going to think about the shoulder a little bit more. We're going to add a little speed here. Ladies, let's press down fast and up slow. Down fast and up slow. 5 and up. 4 and up. 3 and up. 2 up. 1 and up, and relax. Couple of rolls. Nicely done. Couple of rolls, nice and easy. So far, we've thought about the bicep muscle with this exercise. We've thought about the back of the shoulder with our grocery bags, the back of the upper arm with our tricep extension, our chest when we use the cabinet, and again, the back and postural muscles when we pull the ropes. So we're doing pretty well so far. Let's step it up a notch and let's think about integrating more muscles into 1 or 2 exercises. Okay, we're going to use our bicep curl, and these ladies know this exercise well. We're going to raise them up, we're going to turn, we're going to push for the high shelf, take it off the shelf, turn, and back down again. Here we go. Up, turn, push, back, turn, down. Up, turn, push, back, turn, down. 4, turn, push, back, turn, down. 3, turn, push, back, turn, down. 2, turn, push, back, turn, down. 1, turn, push, and back, turn, down. Good. Let's take a moment and let's circle those wrists. We want to always think about the muscles, the carpal tunnel muscle in the wrist, or excuse me, in the forearm. Good. And now we're going to think about washing a small mirror, making small circles through the elbows. Good. Warm up the elbow joint. And let's go in the opposite direction. In or out. Good. 2 more. Last one, and you know what's coming. Let's roll those shoulders a little more. Let's roll those shoulders. And we're going to come back and we're going to revisit our cabinets and our rope exercise. Let's bring our arms out in front. We're going to combine these two. We're going to open one cabinet, close, and pull the ropes. And out. Good. Open and close and pull, extend. 4, close, pull, extend. 3, close, pull, extend. 2, close, pull, extend. 1, close, pull, extend, and relax. Let's roll those shoulders once or twice. And let's think about bringing the legs back into action. We're going to think about a heel tap forward. And again, here we want to be as close to the edge of the chair as you're comfortable with so that you can get a nice strong extension on that leg. So first, put those shoulders over those hips. Hands are at our sides. Let's bring one heel out and back in. And out and in. And out and in. And out and in. Okay, ladies, we're going to think about adding some pushes to the high shelf. Let's keep those feet tapping. Let's bring those fingers up, pushing through the heels of your palms. 3, 2, let's push. Here we go. Up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 4, 4, 3 more, 2 more. Last one. And relax those arms. Feet can come to a standstill. Now let's bring those feet into a little bit of a march. a little bit of a march. And we're going to think about the imaginary ropes that are beneath our chair, and we're going to pull those ropes up to shoulder height. So let's think about those ropes in 3, 2, 1. Let's pull them up and down, and up and down, and 5 and down, 4 and down, 3 and down, 2 and down, and 1, and take a little break here. And make sure that you're situated safely in your chair. Let's roll those shoulders a couple of times, as we always do, back and forth. Okay, let's step it up a notch. Let's bring our weights into action. Okay, I have my weights sitting here at my chair. I'm going to lean down, grab my weight to my right, and as always, you'll see we are big supporters of water. So anytime you have an exercise program you're performing, make sure you have some water at your side. Take a break, take a breather, get some water, okay? And as you know, we use our handy-dandy weights. They're easy. Go ahead and run to the kitchen, grab a couple of soup cans. You already have them. There's no need to purchase any additional equipment. It's a good 1-pound weight. And you'll see, Lori is using weights to my right, and Natalie is using weights to my left. And you'll see also that these exercises can be performed just as well by Ginny and Jean behind me without the weights. You're getting a benefit either way. Okay, we know what to do. Let's put those shoulders over the hips. We're going to do some easy bicep curls. Let's bring those weights out in front. I have my elbows close to my waist and above my hip bones. Let's raise them up and down and up and down. 4 more, 3 more, 2 and 1. Right here at 90 degrees, let's do some rotator cuff exercises. We're going to rotate out and in, and out and in. Nice and easy. Like to bring those weights right back in front of the shoulders. Here, and 3, and in, 2, and in, and 1, and in. And relax, place your weights on your knees. We're going to place them either straight up here or facing down, wherever you're secure with them. Let that weight, let your knee take the weight. Use your hand just to balance, and we're going to lift those knees up. Lift those knees up. And remember, marching without the weight, great benefit. Doing it at all makes it work. 3, and up, 2, and up, and 1, and up, and relax. Let's bring those weights to the sides. We had a chance to warm up the shoulder, so let's come back to our shoulder. Ladies, we're going to raise it straight up here and back down again. Good. And up and down and 4, down, 3 more, down, 2 more, down, 1, and they're down. Let's keep them where they are because we're going to turn this into our grocery bag exercise. Roll those shoulders back. Make sure your posture is nice and strong. Let's pick them up. Remember, elbow goes behind the body, and set them back down. And up and down, and up and down. We have 4 and down, 3 more, down, 2, down, and 1 and down. And let's set them back on our lap for just a moment. Couple of shoulder rolls. Good. Okay, now we're going to bring the legs into play along with the weights. And again, remember, if it doesn't make sense or creates any anxiety, take a break. We'll be here when you get back. Okay, again, we're going to be as close to the edge of the chair as you're comfortable with. And let's think about a nice, easy march. Okay, ladies, let's go for that high shelf. We're going to turn our weights towards you at home, and we're going to push for the high shelf, reaching straight in front of the shoulders. Follow us when you're ready. 3, and 2, and up we go. Up, and down, and up, and down, and 5, down, 4, down, 3, down, 2, down, and 1, and relax. Good. Bring those feet back to steady. And we're going to think a little bit more. So far, we've worked the bicep muscle here, the back of the shoulder, and again, back to the front of the shoulder. So let's think about the chest. Now again, if this is uncomfortable whatsoever, take a break. Let's bring those weights out in front of the body. We're going to open them nice and wide, and then we're going to close them here and squeeze the chest. Open and close. Now you'll see that I have my weights at just about shoulder height. So I want to have the weight at shoulder height or lower. I want to go easy on that shoulder joint and make sure this is all in the muscles. Good. Let's do 4 more. And out. 3 more. And out. 2. And out. And 1. Open it up and bring it back in and set it down. Excellent. Okay, let's march those knees. Let the weight settle on your knees and let's pick them all the way up. All the way up. Keep that torso nice and steady. Nice and steady. Three more. 2 more. 1 more. Relax. Good. Excellent. Okay, we're going to think about our tricep muscles. This is going to be the last exercise we do with our weights, so you can get ready to take a break in a minute. Okay, let's think about grocery bags. Pick up those grocery bags. Remember before how we threw it back and behind us? Let's extend that arm. Bring your weights back to the hips and reach back and behind you to extend. Good. Here we go. Back for 5 and in. 4 and in. 3 more. In. 2. In. And 1 and in. Good. Okay, set one weight to the side and the other weight to the side. And let's think about picking it up one more time and get that heart rate up just a little bit before we say goodbye for the day. Okay, you ready? Let's think about some heel right out in front. Okay, right out in front. Let's bring those hands to our waist. Lots of energy today, lots of smiles here in the studio. Keep it moving. Okay, ladies, you know we like to mix it up. So let's go ahead and use our combination of 2 to the front and 2 to the corners. 2 to the front and 2 to the corners. Here we go. 1, 2, and corner, corner. Straight, straight, and corner, corner. Perfect. Up and out and out. We have 3. And up and out and out. 2 and up and out, out. Whoops, I mixed up my steps. Go figure. I'm known for that, aren't I? And out and out. 1 more. How about that? Because I'm going to get this one right. All right, let's bring them back in. Take a moment and circle that ankle. You're going to draw a big circle with your toe. Big circle. And in both directions. Remember what we do on one side, we do on the other. And when you're ready, you're going to switch it over to the opposite foot. Perfect. Okay, make sure that you're seated safely. You feel like you've tucked your hips back on the chair a little bit. Let's get ready to stretch. So let's put one foot out there. We're going to bring our foot straight out in front, and I'm going to pull back, pulling my toe back toward my body. Now, as I reach down, the muscles we're looking to stretch are right back here in the back of the leg. Pull that toe back. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Opposite side comes out. Pull that toe back. Sit tall. Nice straight posture. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Let's bring our hips a little bit forward here. We're going to stretch out the hamstring muscle, which is in the back of your upper thigh. Let's bring one leg out. Let's place the hands on the sitting leg. Let's make sure that we hinge in our hips with your chin up on a shelf, bending slightly forward. We're going to get a nice good stretch in that extended leg. Good. Remember to keep that chin up. Spine is nice and straight. And right your posture. Come back to sitting position. And opposite side. Hands on the bent knee. And lean forward in your hips. Try to keep that spine straight. Chin is up. Good. Couple of seconds. Feel a good stretch right back here. Good. And bring it up. And some easy stretches for the upper body so that we have a chance to relax those muscles, and we hope nothing tightens up on you over the weekend. Let's bring them up and let's open for the chest and flip them down. And you know this one, we've done this before together. Good. Up and open to stretch the chest, down and cross to stretch the back. We're going to do a few in a row. Keep the chin up. Let's do 2 more here. And how about 1 more? And reach, pull those shoulder blades away from that spine. Reach towards us here in the studio. And relax. We're going to do a couple of deep inhales and exhales. But let's roll those shoulders 1 or 2 times. Good. And roll them forward for me. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to do some deep inhales and exhales to relax the rotator cuff in the shoulder. Let's inhale in through the nose, up to the sides. And palms are out. Push that air down to the ground. Good. Reach slightly back and let's sweep. In through the nose. Reach and out through the mouth. Good. Okay. Again to the side. In through the nose. Up we go. And out through the mouth. 1 more time forward. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Kittery Estates, for making today's episode possible. Bye-bye.